Jnanakosha, Puranas.
सर्गच्च प्रतिसर्गच्च वंशो मन्वन्तराणि च वंशानुचरितं चैव पुराणं पञ्चलक्षणम्.
Bhagavat Purana. Salvation of Sudarshan and Shankachar. Sukadev says, O Parikshit, once on the occasion of Lord Shivaratri, Nanda Baba and all other Gopas drew their carts with families and reached Ambikavan on a pilgrimage tour. There they took bath in the river Saraswati and with devotion worshipped Lord Shiva and Parvati. They also observed day-long fast and decided to pass their night on the bank of Saraswati. But that place was inhabited by a huge python. During the night, the python emerged and caught hold of Nanda's leg. Nanda Baba cried loudly. All the Gopas gathered around him. He cried again, Kanaya, the snake is all set to strangulate me, save me. Lord touched the python with his feet and instantaneously the python vanished. In its place appeared a divine-looking human. He said, O Lord, I was a Vidyadhar named Sudarshan. I was so much obsessed with my beauty, youth, luxury and comfort that I used to insult others. One day I had derided at the ugly appearance of a sage Angira. So indigently he cursed me to become a python. But pleased by my realization of mistake, he had told that when God himself would touch me, I would regain my original appearance. Thereafter, Sudarshan went round the god, worshipped him, and with his permission departed to his abode. On another occasion, Lord arrived in Vrindavan during Vasanta Ritu, spring season. There he took part in Vasantik Ras with the gopis. During Ras itself, a demon Shankarachar tried to escape away, kidnapping some of the gopis. A stampede resulted among gopis. Hearing their noise, Lord ran after the demon, carrying a huge skull tree in his hand. In no time, he overtook the demon and killed him by just one blow. He picked up the gem from demon's head and handed it to Balarama. Salvation of Aristasur. Once Kansa sent a demon, Aristasur, to Vrindavana. The demon arrived there in a bull's guise. That huge bull came to Vrindavana and began to terrorize the people with his loud sound. Seeing the bull, Balarama said to Krishna, Kanaya, I have never seen such a huge bull before. All the people began to cry for help. Lord consoled them and challenged the bull demon. O fool, why are you terrorizing these cows and cowherds? I am going to shatter your ego. The challenge from God pinched the demon. Tapping his hoofs angrily, the demon attacked God. He wished to gore him, but God held his arm and pushed him back. Then, kicking the demon, God killed him in no time. Kansa sends Akrura. After the killing of Aritashur, Devarishi Narada visited Kamsa and asked, O Kamsa, the girl who had slipped from your hand was in fact the daughter of Yashoda. Krishna and Balrama, who are staying in Vrindavana, are in fact the sons of Devaki and Rohini respectively. Because of your fear, Vasudeva has kept them under the supervision of his friend Nand. Those two boys have killed the demon sent by you. Hearing these words, Kansa shook with anger and put Vasudeva and Devaki in prison again. Thereafter he called his minister, Akrura, and asked him to set out at once for Gokul. He said to Akrura, Akrurji, You are an old friend and well-wisher of mine. Go to Gokul and bring the sons of Vasudeva, who are staying at Nand's home. Invite them to visit Mathura to witness the festivities of Dhanush Yajna. Akrura understood Kansa's intentions but feared that if he refused, the demon would kill him. So he decided to visit Gokul and also have the opportunity of seeing God. He was feeling overwhelmed by the mere thought of it. Next day, he set out on a grand chariot to meet his Supreme Lord in Gokul. Meditating at the feet of Lord, Akrura was heading towards Vrindavana. He was feeling himself as the most fortunate one, for he was sure to have a sight of Lord. Thus obsessed with many kinds of devotional feeling, Akrura alighted from the chariot at the border of Vrindavana and started walking. He found it unjust to ride a chariot on the land of Vrindavana where Lord Krishna treaded. By the time he reached Vrindavana, Lord Krishna and Balrama had returned home after grazing their cattle. Seeing them, Akrura fell at their feet. Both the brothers raised Akrura and addressed him as Chacha and escorted him into the house. Akrura was given a warm welcome and treatment there. After the dinner, they assembled in Nand's drawing room. Nand inquired about the reason of his sudden arrival. Akrura said, Kansa is organizing wrestling competition in Mathura. He has invited all the big and small kings to the competition. He has invited you with Krishna and Balrama as well. Mathura is worth seeing. Gullible Nand felt pleased by Akrura's talking and said, King Kansa has shown a great honor to me. He has sent invitation only to other kings, but has sent his minister to call me and a golden chariot for my kids. So it was announced in Gokul that all the people would go to Mathura the next day and witness the festivities there. Departure of Krishna and Balrama for Mathura. When the gopis heard about Krishna leaving Gokul to visit Mathura, they began to wail and cry. They were getting so much restless by the news that they felt their lives would end before the sunrise. They started imprecating fate that it had no kindness. First, it provided them with a closer contact with their beloved Krishna. Now it was causing a long separation from him. Some of the gopis even begged for death. They felt it better than with living without Kanaya. All the gopis kept on crying and wailing night long. Mother Yashoda awoke early in the morning next day. She churned out butter and adding misri. She took it to Krishna to feed him. But there she found that both Krishna and Balrama were getting ready to set out for Mathura. They held mother's feet and said, Pardon us, O mother, we are going to Mathura. These words disturbed Yashoda. She ran and fell at Akrura's feet and said, I am your slave, O Akrura. Please do not take my beloved sons to Mathura. They are inseparable from my heart. Why Kamsa has summoned them to Mathura? O Akrura, go and tell him to take everything from us, but spare our sons. We are also ready to live in jail, but can't lose our beloved son. Akrura consoled Yashoda. Bhabi, don't worry. These two brothers are going to Mathura to witness the festivities there and will return soon to comfort your heart. Yashoda said, Akruraji, Mathura is a town of gold and both of my sons are too young yet to be needed there for any reason. Touching the feet of Nanda and Yashoda, both the brothers said, Father, Mother, we will definitely return. Presently we wish to see the grandeur of Mathura. Meanwhile, all the gopis and gopas had gathered there. Crying and wailing, the gopis said, You are very cruel, O Akrura. Who named you as Akrura? You have come here to laceraate our hearts. Second Gopi said, no friend, it is not a fault of Akrura. Our complaints are with Shyamasundar. We left everything, our husbands, children, our homes, and dedicated our entire selves in your service. And now you are deserting us so ruthlessly. We have no support for our life except you, O Madhusudan. Saying this, all the gopis burst into tears again. All the gopas, including Sridhama, surrounded the chariot and said, O Krishna, we had not even dreamt that you would desert us so ruthlessly. O Kanaya, we have seen with our eyes that even Indra, Varuna, Sanakadi and Brahma bow before you. But we have never regarded you as God. We regarded you as our friend. Are you angry with us? Oh, my childhood friend Kanaya, we request you, we will never abuse you in future. If you were intending to go, why did you then save us from the infernal forest fire? Why did you save from the deluging rains? We cannot live without you. Tell us, O benevolent friend, when will you return? Lord Krishna consoled them all and took many of them with him. The chariot began to move. As long as the flag of the chariot remained visible, people kept on crying and wailing. Even the eyes of Akrura filled with tears. Lord asked him, Kaka, why are you weeping? Akrura replied, O Lord, Kamsa is the great sinner. I feel he will try to torment you both by all means. So my heart says that I should take you back to Vrindavan, because if Kamsa did any harm to you, their spirits will curse me forever. Akrura has a sight of Lord in four-armed form. Hearing Akrura's words, Lord understood that when he had arrived in Vraj, he was afflicted with a feeling of majesty. But now, if it has been replaced by affection now, he therefore decided to remove his dilemma. Thus Lord said to him, Kaka, Mathura is still some distance away, so you take a bath in Yamuna. We brothers are waiting for you in the chariot. As soon as Akrura took a dip in Yamuna, Lord showed him a sight of his abode, Vaikuntha, and his Narayana's appearance, in which he was holding conch, wheel, maize, and lotus in each of his four hands, and was lying on the bed of Sheshanag with folded hands. Akrura prayed to Lord, O Lord, you are the reason for the existence of Brahma and the universe. O Lord, I pray at your feet again and again. Now I recognize you. You are the one who took the incarnations of Matsya, Kachap, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Rama. Thus after bath and worship, Akrura returned to the chariot. Lord Krishna understood that now a devotional feeling had arisen in the mind of Akrura for Narayana. Lord asked, your condition seems miserable. Did you see anything extraordinary underwater? Akrura said, O Lord, now bestow your grace on me. Kindly come to my home and accept my hospitality. Arrival in Mathura and grace on Kubja. After the departure of Akrura, Nanda Baba to set out for Mathura along with the Gopas. On the way itself they caught up with Krishna and Balrama. All of them then reached Mathura together. There they stayed in a garden. After some time, with Nan's permission, both the brothers set out to see the city of Mathura. Mathura was indeed a beautiful town. All the residents of Mathura thronged on roads, roofs, and attics to have a sight of Krishna and Balrama. On the way, they met a pretty but hunched woman. She introduced herself as Kubja, the maid of Kansa. Her duty was to smear the members of the royal family with sandalwood paste. God asked her if he would smear him with sandal paste. Kubja said, O Manmohan, I see no one more fitting than you for the sandal paste. Thus she smeared Lord forehead with saffron. On Balrama's forehead she smeared musk containing sandal paste. Other Gopas smeared all the remaining sandal paste on their head. Lord then put his feet on Kubja's and holding her chin gave her head a straight jerk. And in no time Kubja's hunch has gone and she turned into a pretty woman. She begged Lord for his love. The Lord promised her a meeting in future and proceeded ahead. After saving Kubja, Lord Krishna and other Gopas moved ahead. At a place they saw a huge bow kept on a high stage. Many strong men were guarding it. Lord entered the canopy and easily lifted the bow and broke it into pieces. There was a big applause from all around. Thou said, Krishna, now the crowd will increase here, so let us escape in time. Thus both the brothers and their friends beat a retreat to their camp. There they rested for night. There in Mathura, breaking off the bow had frightened Kansa. He could not sleep during the night. Even in his dreams he saw nothing but Krishna everywhere around him, killing of elephant. Early in the morning, Kansa summoned his minister and ordered him to make Kuvalaya feed the elephant to stand in the center of the main gate. He thought that the elephant would kill both the boys if they dared to enter the fort through main gate. Back there in the garden, Krishna and Balrama set out in wrestlers' guise for the fort. At the gate, seeing an elephant blocking the passage, they asked Mahat loudly, "O Mahat, why have you made the elephant stand in the center of the gate? Move it either ahead or back." But instead of moving the elephant out of the passage, the Mahat steered it right on them. But before elephant could attack them, Balrama caught its trunk while Krishna caught its tail. Both the brothers then dragged the elephant out of the gate and lifted it in the air. The elephant fell on the ground with a loud thud and died on the spot. Salvation of wrestlers. Kamsa felt very nervous by the news of elephant's killing. Before he could take stock of the situation, Lord Krishna and Balrama arrived in the amphitheatre. The spectators present in the amphitheatre saw Lord as per their feeling. The men folk saw Lord as a jewel among the men. Women folk saw him as an incarnation of Kamadev. Cowherds saw their natural friend in Lord. While to Kamsa he appeared as his death. But to his mother and father, Devaki and Vasudeva, and to Nand, Krishna and Balram appeared as small kids. Sages and ascetics saw nothing but mystical, metaphysical coming in boys' guise. Learned ones cited his cosmic form, while to Yadavas he appeared as their tutelary god. As soon as the Lord and Balarama arrived in the ring, the wrestlers who were already present there stood up like springs. A wrestler, Chanu, dragged Krishna, and one named Mashtek dragged Balrama into the ring. They said to them, "Both of you and we are the subjects of the great king Kansa. It is our duty to please our king with our art and skill. Moreover, we will receive many rewards also." Krishna said, "O wrestlers, you please fight among yourselves. We are boys yet, so we shall witness your fight from a distance." Chanu said, "No, you are neither boy nor teenagers. You are stronger than the strongest. You have just killed an elephant which was stronger than 1,000 elephants." Thus both the brothers were compelled to wrestle with the royal wrestlers. Mashtik was beaten on the ground by Balrama so hard that he died at once on the spot. Krishna similarly killed second wrestler Chanur. All the remaining wrestlers met similar fate one by one. The massive crowd present there applauded them joyfully. Salvation of Kamsa. Seeing the shameful defeat of his wrestlers, Kamsa, infuriated with anger, and proclaimed, "Tie all the opponents, tie Ugrasena, Devaki, Vasudev, Nand in ropes and bring them before me." Lord Krishna could not tolerate this, and in a single jump he reached on the stage where Kamsa was present. Lord Krishna caught him by hair and said, "O Kamsa, once you have caught a helpless woman by hair, I have avenged that insult. Now you will receive the fruits for your atrocity." Saying this, Lord began to twirl Kamsa, catching him by hair and threw him down from the stage. Then Lord jumped once again and landed on the chest of Kamsa. Kamsa died instantaneously. Thus Kamsa, who was an incarnation of the demon Kalanemi, received salvation. Lord Krishna then released his parents from the prison and crowned his maternal grandfather Ugrasen as the king of Mathura. Yajnapaveet of Krishna and Balrama. After the successful completion of all the royal ceremonies, the consecration of Krishna and Balrama was carried out. Thereafter, they came to stay at the hermitage of sage Sandipani for formal education. Extraordinarily brilliant Krishna successfully learned all the knowledge in short period of time. Then, as Guru Dakshina, paying respect to the teacher, Krishna brought back his dead son from the abode of Yamaraj. Taking his convocational bath thereafter, Lord Krishna returned to Mathura. There, though living among royal luxuries and grandeur, Lord Krishna remained indifferent. Memory of his sentimental, beloved devotees, friend, and other people of Raj kept on pricking him, sending Uddhava as messenger. Samant Uddhava, the son of Yadava's minister, Brihaspati, was an intimate friend of Lord Krishna. Only he had the permission to enter Lord's sanctum. Seeing his friend Krishna in remorse, Uddhava asked, "Matsurnatha, you seem to be upset. What is troubling you?" Lord Krishna replied, "Uddhava, I feel perplexed. I remember my days in Vrindavan. Please go to Vrindavan and get the news regarding gopis there. Also give them my message." Thus Lord Krishna donned Uddhava in his attire and sent him to Vraj in his chariot. There he stayed at Nand's home. At night, Uddhava inquired about Nand and Yashoda's well-being and about Vraj in the general. That whole night passed in chanting.